Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a fabric pumpkin using a pumpkin sewing pattern. Please like this video and subscribe for all fun sewing content. So this pumpkin pattern is a free pattern you can get on my sewing blog. The link is in the description down below. It comes in 3 sizes, a large, a medium, and a really little tiny pumpkin. It is similar to sewing the ball pattern that I have. I can link it up here. I have changed the shape slightly to get more of this kind of flat pumpkin shape. I have found, depending on the kind of how much you stuff it, it slightly changes the shape a little bit, but honestly both of these still look like pumpkins. They're both great. The great thing about this pattern, you do not have to add any like strings or anything on the outside. You get the lines of the seams to give that pumpkin look. You can add any sort of stem. So like this is felt, this is a ribbon. You can buy those like fake stems. You can use a stick, whatever you want for the stem. In the video I show you how to do both like a ribbon or felt, but you can use whatever stem you would like. For this pattern you need to use quilting cotton. I chose some in some really pretty like kind of peach or orange. So let's get started. To make this fabric pumpkin, you will need some quilting cotton. I have these pretty peach fabrics that I'm going to use. I'm going to cut them out with a rotary cutter and a cutting mat. And then you can get the free pattern on my website. It's kind of like a football shape with the stem part on one side. And then I'm going to use ribbon and felt. There's lots of different ways you can do the stems, but just for this demonstration, I will show you the ribbon and the felt. For this demonstration, I am going to make the medium-sized pumpkin so that you can see kind of the shape and how to make it, but it goes a little bit faster and it's a little bit easier to see than the really tiny one. So you get your fabric out and you are going to cut out 6 of these shapes. So I'm going to I'm going to fold my fabric so I can cut out 2 layers at a time and cut out 6 of these pumpkin shapes. Once you have all of your pieces cut, you are going to work with 3 of them and 3 of them at the same time. So it's kind of like you're going to put them right sides together and you're going to sew from this dot over to this dot. And then when that is sewn, then you're going to sew another one. So you're making 1/2 of the pumpkin and sewing them on the curves to create that pumpkin. So I'm going to sew these 3 together and I'm going to sew these 3 together. So you can see I have these 2 sides of the pumpkin sewn. So you're going to put them right sides together, and since we have kind of the hole on the top, you don't need to leave an opening, but I like to match up all of the points at the bottom, and then I take, since there's 2 extra seams that meet at the bottom, I put the seam allowance going away from the middle, one on, on each side, so it's like this. And I'm going to make sure you pull the sides out so it's not getting stuck kind of in that seam. And I'm going to pin that. And pin, mark at the, you start at the marking, the point at the top and around the side. Now you're going to start at the top mark, go down around, making sure that the seam allowance at the bottom, these ones are facing out, and back around to the mark on the other side. So you're just doing one big circle with the opening at the top. So now you have a hole at the top, you know, with these rectangles are kind of poking out. So you're carefully going to turn it right side out through the hole. It is a pretty small hole, so you kind of just have to work with it. So now your pumpkin kind of looks like a deflated balloon, which is good, that's the right shape, but we're going to fill it up with stuffing through the hole in the top. And it's a pretty small hole, so you just have to use grab a tiny bit and, you know, just stuff it in and move it around to the different parts in the pumpkin that need to be filled. Once you have your pumpkin stuffed, you kind of have this fabric stuff at the top. So you can tie it in a knot, you can tie something around it and just have kind of this little ruffle at the top. And what actually I like to do is I get some hot glue, and I'll show you how to do it in a second, but I'm gonna get some hot glue and I just like glue this into a stem like this. And then I take something like felt or burlap or a ribbon and I kind of just wrap it around so it looks like a stem on the top. And so I've glued this fabric together. It doesn't really matter how tight it is or if it's, you know, there's stuff sticking out. It's not a big deal. You're just gluing it kind of together. And then I cut a piece of felt. You want it to be as tall as you want it to be, and then, you know, enough to wrap around a couple of times. This is felt, so it doesn't need to be finished, so I don't have to fold over an edge, and I don't have to fold over edges on the side. If I were doing a ribbon, luckily with a ribbon, the edges you do not have to finish, but this edge I would like glue folded over at the end so that it wouldn't be a raw edge. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just glue and wrap this around just like this to create a stem. Once you have wrapped and glued, kind of glue that end down, you can even, like, I've bent this one at the top, put a little bit of glue inside and bent it. You can close the top. I kind of pinched it closed so that it would kind of have a, you know how pumpkin stems kind of like almost wrinkle or have channels, so I wanted that at the top. But once you have your stem on, your pumpkin is now finished. And that is how you make a fabric pumpkin using a free pumpkin sewing pattern. I can't wait to see all of the pumpkins that you make. Please share them with me on social media, and I hope you have a wonderful day.